Welcome back to the blog. My name is Annette, and this week is all about injury prevention. I basically had this conversation with someone this week where I told them that injury prevention was a myth. So I want to break down that conversation and kind of go through the pillars of recovery and how it can be helpful for you. Because I found the conversation, even if it was a conversation with myself, to be immensely helpful because it's stuff that I never really thought about. So stick around, stay tuned, and let's get into it. So last week I got an email, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of everything that was in the email, but one of the questions was, do you have any tips on how to prevent injury? And of course you come like right away, you have these ideas of like, oh yeah, you can do X, Y, Z, the third, and prevent injury. And I started thinking about it, and I realized that there is nothing that you can do to prevent injury. There's absolutely nothing you can do to prevent injury. Take a moment and let that sink in. I found that statement to be extremely liberating because so many times we're trying to do all of the things, and then there's this moment of defeat when we get injured. Like, but I was doing all the things. How could this happen? If you know up front that there's no way to prevent injury, then what you're doing are just preventative measures to better equip you for if and when that time arises. So let me back up just a second because it was a revelation to me. We use the term injury prevention all the time. We say, oh, I use it all the time, injury prevention. I don't even think about it. But the reality is, after the age of 12, I'm just using a ballpark figure here, you could step out of the bed and hurt yourself. You could walk down the hallway, twist an ankle. You could reach for a pen the wrong way. There are a litany of ways that you could hurt yourself that have nothing to do with the preparation and the time and the effort that you put in before the point of injury. Which led me to this concept that there's really nothing that you can do. So then I started to think to myself, well, what's the real answer that I want to give people? What is the answer that she was really looking for? Because I think we all understand at some base level that I can get hurt doing anything. There's really nothing that you can't protect yourself in that kind of way. So I started thinking about, what are the pillars of recovery? What are the things that you can do to set yourself up in the best possible way so that if you do get hurt, your turnaround time is quick. And if you do get hurt, you also have the tools and the wherewithal to move, breathe, react in a way that is best for your body in terms of not doing worse harm. Right? So you don't want to exacerbate the problem by doing things that are going to take you back in the other direction. So the pillars of recovery are as such, and I just picked 5 of them. The first one is movement. I am so big on this one because literally, and I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself, in that a week ago, I hurt my back. Yes, I teach a class for lower back pain. That does not mean that I can prevent myself from having an injury. And I have to be upfront with you. I have to be honest about that because then I'm just glorifying the experience. So I hurt my back doing a little bit more lifting than I should have, and lifting just to a point of exhaustion. And so I started to have to kind of take the words that I was saying to you and apply them to myself. And movement was a thing that really kind of pulled me back around. And I'm not talking about like HIIT or high intensity training or anything like that. I'm talking about gentle movement, taking the body in all three planes of motion, making sure you get some lateral movement, some front to back, and some rotation, and doing it in a way that feels supported and that's slow enough that you are aware of how your body's moving in space and you're not going to create the possibility of more injury. And I know a lot of times, sometimes it's hard. Like, how should I move? What should I do? If you're newer to this and you're not quite sure, I'm going to put a link below this video, 7-day, free to you, 15-minute flows that you can do throughout the week. Little mini recovery sessions that you can throw in after your workout to really start to introduce the concept of a consistent recovery. Now, you're just trying to set yourself up for success long term. These are not short-term fixes. You want to have a consistent practice over time. So the link is going to be right below. It's just a 7-day yoga challenge that's going to help you infuse recovery into your regular everyday programming or your regular everyday fitness. So movement was the first step. It just allows you to lubricate your joints. It distributes that blood flow throughout your body and just nourishes your cells and keeps you active. That whole concept of move it or lose it is real. You know, the more you sit, the stiffer you get, and the body just starts to build around your lack of movement. Like your fascia starts to hold you in positions that are not the best for optimum movement. The second thing is hydration. It also lubricates your joints. It sends nutrients to your cells. Cannot express how important it is to stay hydrated throughout your day. I drink, right here I have it with me, which is funny because I didn't even plan on this, but it's always pretty much close by, is I've got this 24-ounce Yeti water bottle that I love. Love would be an understatement. And I just literally, I fill it up, I drink it throughout the day, refill it, and keep going. So I drink about 4 or 5 of these a day. And I just pair it with my meals, and that's the easiest way to do it. So when I eat, I make sure that I drink either one before or after I eat to kind of just finish it off and make sure that I'm getting that hydration in. The next thing that you can do is sleep. Sleep is so important for your performance. When we sleep, we have overall better well-being, more clarity of thought. You're rested. Your body needs to rest. When you go to sleep, you're recharging those batteries. So if you don't recharge those batteries, you're more susceptible to injury and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. So go to sleep. Stop staying up watching Netflix and all the other stuff. Something I told myself when I kept struggling to go to sleep on time, the things that you want to watch, the things that you want to do will be there tomorrow. They will be. It's okay. Turn the TV off, shut the phone down, whatever. Give yourself a nighttime routine. Maybe that means you brush your teeth, get prepared, and read a book, or do something. You plan your day for tomorrow, or whatever you need to do to create a routine that kind of winds you down so that you can actually get in the optimum amount of sleep that you need. Each person is going to be different. I mean, I shoot for somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. More normally, I'm closer to that 6-hour mark just because I like to get up early and do some stuff in the mornings. But that just means that I have to go to bed at 10 o'clock or earlier in order to get all of that time in. So make sure you're planning, you're scheduling it, and then you're holding yourself accountable. Because if you don't rest, you're not recharging. The next thing is nutrition, and this is a big one because you are what you eat. What you put in your body, how you fuel your body determines how efficient your movement and your overall just well-being is going to be. So stop eating crap. Start to shop on the outside perimeter of the grocery store. Get those whole foods in, get your proteins, get your veggies, that water, all those things matter. And I feel like we all know what we're supposed to be eating. We just kind of like don't do it. So if you're kind of getting yourself, if you find that you're consistently injured or not feeling that well, look at your nutrition. Look at how you can optimize what you're putting in your body so that you get the maximum output. And then the last one, which I'm saving, the best for last, because it is the hardest thing for me to do, is that you need to rest. You need to slow the F down and rest. Some people struggle with fitness, they don't like it as much, but when I'm speaking to athletes and people who have the similar background to me, the fitness is not the hard part. The nutrition, the sleep, the hydration, all those other things can be tricky, but the fitness is never the hard part. The challenge for people like you and me is to slow down. Overuse injuries are probably the most prominent reason for injury. You're just beating yourself into the ground and then getting hurt, not giving yourself the time to recover, and then doing it over and over again. So I'm like speaking to me right now, because I'm coming off of that back injury, or that time off that I spent kind of working my way back in. And I could tell that I wanted to hit the ground running right away. And that had negative effects. So it's like 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. You got to take the time to rest. And so last week, or the last few days, I've been taking it easy. And then I'll probably normally I'd take 1 rest day in a week. I might take 2 or 3 rest days this week, knowing that if I give myself time to fully recover, then I can be back into the things that I really love to do at the pace and the level that I love to do them at. But if I keep kind of like getting a little bit better and then injured, getting a little better, injured, then it's just this annoying cycle back and forth, and I never get where I'm trying to go. So those are the 5 pillars of recovery. Make sure you're moving, gentle movement in all 3 planes. Hydration, make sure you're drinking your water. Take it with you, pair it with your meals. If you don't like regular water, then maybe you can do some flavored water or something like that, but you need to get it in. You can also get it in through your fruits and your veggies. Don't forget that those things have water in them, and those hydrate you as well. Sleep, go to bed. Set a time, figure out how many hours of sleep that you need to perform at your best, and then lock it in. It's 10 o'clock, like something in me at 10 o'clock is like, all right, Annette, it's time to start wrapping it up. Like 9:30, I start kind of shutting things down so that I can make sure I'm getting to bed as close to that marker as possible. Otherwise, I'm screwed, and I'm not getting that recovery. I'm not recharging the batteries the way that I should. And then that next one, nutrition. Really making sure that you are accounting for the things that are going into your body. All of that, I look at food as fuel. Just like a car, if you're putting crap in the tank, that car's not going to go very far. But if you're putting in the best fuel possible, whole foods, lean meats, water, all of those great things, you're going to be moving as efficiently as possible. You're going to prevent a lot of the common injuries that come with malnutrition, because everything is going to be working the way that it was intended. And then the last one, the hardest one for me, is finding time to rest. Scheduling in your rest days. And by rest day, I mean nothing that brings you to the point of sweat. So you can go for a walk, maybe a little gentle yoga, but really it's time for you to just chill out. And for some reason, that is just the hardest thing to do, is to do less. So make sure you're scheduling in those days where you are turning down the volume, you're giving yourself the time, the space to recover. And those 5 things together will help you prevent injury to the best of your ability. Again, there is no 100% fail-safe way to prevent injury. It can happen at any time, but you want to set yourself up for success. You want to put yourself in the best position so that if you do get injured, you can bounce right back, or the degree of injury is much less because of the way that you prepared. Again, my name is Annette. This was the Athlete Practice. I hope you found something that was useful in today's blog. Down below, tell me which one, or shoot me a message. Which one do you resonate with the most, and which one's the hardest for you? I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, later, guys.